we're back for another episode of
to it, and I was
Bodybuilding
like,
and Business. You should have beat me to it.
I was thinking about it just to throw you off, but I was like, you know what, dude? Even though I hate that, I'm going to let you have your moment to shine.
I still say the intro just because I don't know what to do. You're like, welcome back to another episode of Bodybuilding and Business. And I'm like, welcome back to another episode. That's what
Are you trying to play footsie with me or not?
That's what I say. No, my wheels weren't moving.
Well, that's because you got the good chair.
No.
Yeah, you got the snickle.
Everyone knows I don't have the good chair.
No, you don't. You got the good hair, though.
Hair, chair, they kind of rhyme.
Yeah.
I have hair, you got a chair. Maybe one day we'll go to the fair. Who knows?
Get you to drink some.
Maybe there'll be a bear.
Beer?
Beer would have probably been better.
Yeah.
I used bear.
Bear rhymed better, but you don't, you know what I mean?
You don't drink a bear. That's for certain.
But you could wrestle one at the fair.
See, there was something there.
You know what I mean?
Nothing good, but there was something there.
Maybe with his claws, your face he will tear.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
And then I will end up becoming... Nope. Went the wrong way. I'll have to learn to play the snare. I don't know.
You know what that is?
Drums.
Yeah, good
Because
job,
I won't
dude.
be able to do an instrument with my face anymore. I'll have to do the drums.
Because you do so many instruments
I
with your
can't be a
face.
clarinet player any longer. I will have to be a drummer.
I didn't say he's going to
A
destroy your mouth.
percussionist.
There you go. Good job, dude.
Thanks.
You're
All
learning.
right.
You're learning.
So I told you I was going to tell you about something that I didn't pre-warn you about. Are you ready for it?
I mean, there's been a slew of things you've been throwing at me, so I don't see this one surprising me or shocking me.
This one has nothing to do with bodybuilding or business.
Okay.
It kind of pertains to you and I, though. There has been no good cinematography. There's been no good movies or TV shows lately, and I got a real bone to pick with mainstream media about that.
I think you got a bone to pick with me.
No, you're not making it.
Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. Every night, I've been going to bed
Yeah.
watching YouTube.
Yeah, what is going on?
There is nothing. And maybe we've just watched too much
At
at
all?
this point.
We
I'll
watched
scroll through
everything.
Netflix, seen it. Doesn't sound interesting. Go to Hulu, same thing. Go to Prime, same thing. Go to Paramount, same thing.
I
Like,
don't I don't understand.
it's garbage.
I pay at least $100 a month in subscription
Random
services.
subscriptions.
Yeah. And prescriptions.
I said subscriptions.
Oh, did you?
I said random subscriptions.
I said prescriptions. I'm like, I hope I don't pay that much in prescriptions.
You might, dude. I don't know what kind of insurance you got.
I don't know what kind of medications I'm on. Nothing good.
No, there's garbage.
And that's my beef with mainstream media. Not you. I don't have beef with you. I have beef with mainstream media.
I do have beef with you, though.
Hold on. Is
Okay.
it pertaining to this?
Yes.
Oh,
but
well-
you can finish. Go ahead. And then I'll roll out the beef, dude.
I was going to say the last good movie that I watched new in theaters was Top Gun with you.
Yeah.
There's not been one. You're telling me when was that? Last May or last June or July or something?
It had to be May.
The Brew, right? What was that? No, I think it was Brew City.
So June like 15th or something like that.
Yeah, because I think May we were with. Maybe it was May.
No.
No, the bad one we saw with Vala in November. It was the Brew
That
City
was a
where we saw
horrible movie.
bad.
We
bad.
talked about it, I think,
Bad.
episodes away.
In May we went to see the one that you fell asleep in. In June we went and saw Top Gun or whatever it was, the Brew City show.
Whatever
that
order
was June
it
or
was,
July.
regardless. You're
Good mo-
talking early summer was the
At
last.
least 8 months ago.
Yeah.
What? Not one thing has come out that I'm like, oh, I need to go to theaters to see that.
There is something that's coming out that someone was talking about recently, and I don't remember what it was.
Last weekend, Rosie said maybe we should rent that Cocaine Bear movie. That's what we've succumbed to.
Cocaine Bear.
You haven't seen that?
No.
There was a story once where somehow some cocaine got lost in the woods, bear ate it. 10 hours later, he died. He was ravenous for 10 hours because he was on cocaine and then he died. They somehow were like, we can make a movie out of that where this bear eats the cocaine and then goes off killing a bunch of people. And it's like a satire, black comedy kind of movie or whatever.
That sounds horrible.
I honestly think people are liking it because it's original, because it's not something that's already been done before. So people are like, cool.
I don't like it.
A story that we've never heard of. But besides that the fact that that's what we're
Discussing.
yeah,
There's nothing else to
there's nothing
discuss.
else to watch. Like, let's watch Cocaine Bear.
Yeah. I watched Cocaine Cowboy.
Different movie.
Well, documentary, but
Series? Docuseries?
Sure.
Yeah. What was your beef with me?
You at one point had a list of things that I needed to watch, and I was busy watching other things.
Yeah.
And now every time I tell you, hey man, like you got something good for me to watch, you're like, there's nothing.
Listen,
you don't remember the slew of things that you once told me were great that I'm missing out on.
I still probably know them, but that's kind of rude of you. I come to you with a thing that a list that I have, and then you say, I don't want this list. And then
It's not that I don't want this list. I say, okay, yeah, I'll watch it, but I'm watching these things
and then
right now.
later on, you're like, where's that list? And I'm like,
Well, you should remember. You know what I like.
I know that you should have watched Gone Girl and you didn't, and you're going to like it.
I'll watch it tonight.
You're going to like it.
All right. Gone Girl it is. The last good thing that I watched, other than, and I'm going to judge you for this one. Yeah, I feel like I'm far away from my mic today.
Get up on it.
Yeah, get up on it.
You're judging me for it? Outer Banks? Because I didn't
Outer
watch
Banks, dude.
it? Yeah.
I fucking flew through season 2.
I'm still one
and
episode
you're still
in.
one episode in season 1. Dude, it's great. You just got to jump on it, dude. What else did you fucking fail on?
Nothing. I haven't failed on anything.
No, you didn't finish Yellowstone.
No.
You did watch White Lotus. You got
I've got
through those.
time for Yellowstone, though, because the season's over and I got all this time to watch it now.
So just fucking watch it.
Yeah, but Rosie doesn't watch it, and
Dude, Michelle doesn't watch
I'm
anything
way
I
too-
watch besides Real Housewives of New Jersey. Shout out Melissa Gorga. Yo, what's up? Hit me up. 630.
don't,
I was gonna
don't do that. That's where you and I differ. Like, I don't... Ooh.
Melissa Gorga's hot, dude.
Ooh.
No, I believe me.
Dude, I thought that cord was not tipping that drink over. No, the difference between you and I think, was more so like I get mad when Rosie watches a show that I don't also watch, as she does the same for me. Even though she might say like, "Oh, it's okay, watch it." I'm not gonna make her watch a show that she doesn't watch.
Oh, I don't make her watch what I'm gonna watch.
Oh,
I watch it without her. I wait for her to fall asleep.
Got it.
We'll watch stupid shit. She'll pass out, like random shit that we've already seen, reruns of stuff, or fucking American Idol or whatever. And then she passes out,
and then you put it on.
and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm awake. And even if I'm not awake, I force myself because I want downtime. So then I put on something I'm interested in.
Got it. Yeah, nothing good lately. So if any of our listeners work in mainstream media, get on it.
Yeah, hurry the fuck up.
Figure it out. It's not that hard.
I could only rewatch The Sopranos so many times.
Yeah.
Entourage so many times.
Rosie hates me for rewatching The Office so many times.
You know, maybe I should start that though.
It's very dry humor, though.
Yeah, I like that though.
If you like my humor, you might like The Office's humor.
I hate The Office.
All right, well, you might not like it. Don't watch the British version, that's for sure.
I would never.
It started off as a
got bad
British
teeth.
show, and then it came and they redid it here with old Stevie Carell.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that was the one thing I wanted to discuss before. That was a surprise.
Well, that was a great surprise. Now I'm just in a bad mood because I
There's
feel
nothing
like
good to watch.
there's nothing to look forward
Any
to
of
this
our
weekend.
listeners, if you know or if you've watched something good recently, tell us.
Yeah,
so we can watch it.
Shoot us a message. Let us know. I'm in movies, series. We'll take either or.
I'm honestly more interested in movies.
I'm interested in either.
I just haven't committed to a series. Like I have series that people have told me to watch, Outer Banks as an example, and I just haven't committed the time to it yet. I'm looking for a movie.
Okay.
So someone hit me up with some good movies.
Yeah. Hit him up with some good movies and hit me up with some good movies or series. The end. And no superhero bullshit. I don't want no fake stuff.
I like superheroes,
Yeah,
but
send that to him.
I already know what's good and bad in the superhero genre, so you don't have to tell me.
Yeah, Pat's a superhero if you don't know. So he's the fastest man in the world.
I am the fastest man in the world. All right, dude, let's get into these Q&As.
Yeah, we're going to do some questions.
Unless you had something else you want to discuss.
Not really. I'm sure I'll discuss a lot.
Which one of the girls put the sticker on your phone case? I meant to ask last week.
This lion is Alessia's sticker that Alessandra stole from her and wanted me to have, and she put it on there.
Plopped it right on there.
So I usually just keep it on.
Dude, I had a dream that I was like you. I like chalked my phone. Totally forgot in this dream.
I never throw my phone.
Stop. You don't have to stop.
So you're gonna think they're gonna think I got anger
issues.
issues.
That was rude of me. You guys don't see what he does to his phone when you're not on.
I put it in reckless spots. I throw it up in the air and catch it, but I don't chuck my phone.
I don't know what I was doing in the stream. I obviously forgot that I record a podcast on my phone because I was reckless with it, and I was just dropping it, chucking it, doing whatever, and it was cracked and like demolished in my dream. And I was like, oh, whatever. But man, what a panic that would have been. How would we have done this?
We would have recorded on mine, and it would have been iPhone 12 quality instead of iPhone 13 quality.
Yeah.
Not even sure if there's much of a difference.
They might have known.
They might have known. You're right. They probably would have noticed your hair more.
Good thing I'm so far away they can't see.
Yeah, they can't see the discrepancies. Anyways.
Let's do some questions.
Yeah, man. I don't want to go off on any more tangents right now. I'm still in a bad mood.
I do need to get like an iPhone 14 though. That would be cool.
So that's on our plans. Michelle and I are supposed to go this Sunday.
On your phone plan or like in your plan of things
like we're actually planning on doing it this weekend because her phone is like at the point of just malfunctioning.
Got it.
And we keep saying it and we don't do it. And Sunday we have nothing going on. So
is that why she texted me saying she was going to beat me up?
No, I think she meant that.
She's actually going to
she's actually going to beat you up.
Got it.
Yeah.
That wasn't a mistake.
Hey, man, I got a question for you.
What's up?
What time did you go to bed last night? No, that's like a real question.
Oh, it's one of the questions.
Yeah, that's one of the questions.
Let's see. I ate my last meal, which was a protein shake and 2 English muffins with peanut butter and jelly on them around 9:30 before going back upstairs and getting into bed. So I for sure didn't fall asleep until about 10 o'clock.
Okay.
How about you?
From the yawn.
You didn't go to bed at all, obviously.
No, I went to bed at 11. It's kind of been irregular for me lately, though.
Because you've been staying up trying to watch YouTube.
I'm just trying to chill.
What do you watch on YouTube? You don't want to say
pizzas.
You don't want to say. You don't want to tell
I watch
people
pizzas in different countries and like street food people and that shit. You know.
Yeah.
All right. So I've been going to bed pretty late, waking up pretty early.
Sometimes,
but I enjoy it. I feel like no matter what, I'm the same amount of tired. I can go to bed at 8, wake up at 3:45.
You know, now that you say that, regardless of what time I go to bed, my body wakes me up at like 3 a.m. and I'm like, crap, 30 minutes, 35 or 45 minutes. And then I really have to like get up and get out of bed every day, regardless. I never make it to 3, 4. Like I never make it till that alarm actually goes off. I'm always up before it. And I'm like 30 more minutes.
Yep.
And then I'm even more tired when I go back to bed for 30 more minutes.
See, that's how I was. My body clock always had me pee at like 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I really don't have to get up yet. Right. But now that I'm staying up later, again, I feel the same, right? But now I'm waking up at 2:45 because I'm going in early and I'm doing cardio. Just had to, pat myself on the back there. But
good job.
Thanks, man. But I don't feel any different. But at this point, I'm not getting up to pee in the middle. Usually I'm like, oh, fuck, like it's 3 o'clock. My alarm's going off in 45 minutes. And then I'm just laying in bed. Now I'm just up before I actually have to pee.
Yeah.
Walk downstairs and make my double shot. Come back up.
Do your thing.
You know what I mean? And I'm ready to go.
Huh.
Yeah.
Anyways. You know who's a crazy person like that too?
Me.
Big R.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Big R
I think he starts at like 2 a.m. every day. That guy's got to get out of bed at 1 a.m.
Oh, Big R. I thought you were talking about the Mrs. Big R. Papas, dude.
Oh.
Because she's up. Like, once she wakes up, she's up.
She's up, yeah, regardless. Doesn't matter what day of the week, holidays, don't matter. No. Mr. Big R.
Yeah, no, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he like gets to work at 3 every day.
Yeah.
That's insane.
He's got that flare drip, dude.
He does.
You know what I'm talking about?
Some people will get that. Some
people will. And some people still will get that reference, but they won't know who that person is.
Fair.
Yeah. Anyways, have you ever been fired from a job?
Didn't we do this before?
I think. But regardless, just make it quick then.
No.
No.
You know what's a funny one, though? Thinking about being fired, as you ask that, I thought of like ever getting in trouble at a job. And I remember not only did I
bring these stories up, dude.
What?
I got a fucking plethora.
Well, of course your father was your boss. Of course you got in trouble at work all the time.
I got a story, but go ahead.
At BTF?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Do your thing.
I didn't really get in trouble at work very often because I wasn't a bad employee, which is why I didn't get fired. But I remember specifically, so I started caddying when I was 13, I think. 12 or 13. For some reason, you can caddy before you can have like a real job.
Yeah.
You don't have to have,
It's
like,
tips. It's not like a wage or job.
No, you still got paid per round of golf, but it wasn't like an hourly wage.
Okay.
So I remember I was caddying for this guy in a tournament, and the tournament schedule came out, and basically they stagger tee times and can't have everyone play at the same time, right? So in order to get things moving, we were given later tee times. And me and my neighbor caddied at the same place. He was a year or two older, so he would drive, or he was old enough to drive, and he would drive us there. We got there. You had to get there at like 5 a.m. And then you found out by like 6 a.m. whether you were working that day or not. Because if too many caddies showed up, you showed up late, you didn't get to go.
I get it, bro.
We were given a round of like,
I know caddies, dude.
I don't know, dude.
I know caddies.
Okay. The people might not.
Titleist, dude. You know what I mean? I know golf.
Cool. Well, the people might not. So we got there, tournament, our round didn't start till 11 a.m. It's 6 in the morning. So he was like, do you just want to go like back home, get breakfast, do whatever, and then come back? It's like, heck yeah, dude, let's go. Didn't even think about it, right? Just thought, we got until 11 o'clock. Why not come back? Don't know why, because normally when we would not leave, if the round started at 7 a.m., we would be out there at 6:30.
You were a fat kid, so you heard breakfast, and that's why you didn't think why. You were like,
You know
okay,
what's so
yeah,
funny?
bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, let's go.
You know what's so funny is right now, I would love that job.
I wouldn't.
I would.
I hate walking. I hate the sun.
I don't
hate
mind
heat.
I don't mind.
I don't like listening to other people. Worst caddy ever.
That's not true. We listen to other people all day long.
No.
But okay, but just listen.
They're not giving me direction.
Sometimes, yeah, I guess there's part of it. Sometimes they ask for your advice too.
Yeah.
So it's both. Being outside.
I don't mind giving advice. I don't like someone
You
telling me,
have to
hey, kid, carry this here. Do this.
Well, you just have to carry the bag. They're not giving you other demands of things to carry.
I've never been a caddy.
Okay,
That's why.
Regardless, in my head now, I'm thinking like, nice day, warm outside, get a little tan going while I'm carrying a bag, make some money while I'm doing it at the same time. Why not? Back then, I was like 4'11". The bag was bigger than me. I was a fat kid. I couldn't walk uphill. It was a terrible job for me. I hated it. I was miserable. They also made us wear jumpsuits like we were in prison.
I'm still 4'11".
Nice.
You know what I mean? That's why I don't caddy.
Why was I even telling this? Oh, I showed back up, or my neighbor and I showed back up at 11 o'clock, the time of our tea time, which is a big no-no. You needed to be there at least like 30.
You got to be there early, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole respect thing in golf. I get it.
Totally just blanked on that. And the caddy master, that was his official title. Imagine
Splinter.
Imagine that being your job title was caddy master.
I would call him Splinter.
Yeah. He was like this 6'5", 250-pound linebacker, rat of a man, like linebacker, this gigantic man, mind you, short little fat Pat at the time. He tore us a new one. I was afraid for my life. I was like, this guy's going to eat me. I'm going to not only get fired today, but I'm going to be eaten by this giant troll man.
But you didn't get fired. So is he like the male version of Miss Trunchbull?
Yeah, he kind of was.
The real movie buffs will get that one.
Yes. By the time we came back from the round and our golfers loved us, he was not angry anymore. He was just angry in the moment.
You were able to smooth it over.
Yeah. We did a good job at what we were doing. We just came back late, and he thought like he lost 2 caddies. He thought like we just went home. We weren't coming back. Yeah, I got chewed out. That was like the only time I've ever been chewed out at work.
I got chewed out a lot, but more so, you were right, working with my dad.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're the same exact person, so things didn't always go that well. Mm-hmm. There was, before having a license, I think I told this story before, walking home in the rain, like pouring rain on the side of busy roads, that kind of shit. Pizza boards thrown at each other. I mean, things I don't even want to go into detail
Just good
about.
memories,
You know
that's
what I mean? But we fucked up a truck real bad one time. I think I forgot to talk about this in my job descriptions. For like 2 months, me and Andrew were like, we want to make more money. You know, at this time we were, trying to save money, get cars, do the band thing, all that stuff, right? So we still had the pizzeria. But we're like, we want a morning job in the summer. So it was literally probably 2 months, if that, right? We worked for the Addison Park District, and we were basically like, I guess maintenance guys, essentially. You know, like we went out, like you cleaned the parks, you did like the ride on lawnmowers,
Roadkill?
like no, not that stuff. You know, more so like all the lawnmower shit. You know, like doing the baseball fields, whatever, right? And we had these pickup trucks. Who gives these young kids pickup trucks, right?
It doesn't sound like a good idea.
Dude, it was like these big diesel F-150s and 250s. And so many people are going to call me out and be like, dude, they don't do diesel F-150s. All right, so diesel F-250s and 350s.
Whatever it was
They were big trucks,
A big truck
right?
with a diesel.
And we were in this field in Addison, and it's just straight flat land, park, straight flat land, and then just a big berm, right? And everyone knew that like I was the guy who fucked around. Like I would take these pickup trucks and start doing donuts in streets and baseball fields, you name it, right? I drove a lawnmower into a fucking pond, blamed it on the new kid, you know, like anyways. So
All within 2 months.
you know of my buddy Joe, one who lives in Colorado. His brother Frank's the one who helped get us these jobs. And he was like, yo, you see that berm over there? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I bet you won't jump it. And I was like, please. So 3 of us got in this truck, right? We hit this thing at 40 miles an hour. When I tell you it was like shit out of Dukes and Hazzard, this truck flew in the air and just nosedived, okay? The front bumper just looked like a fucking accordion, right?
Yeah.
Mud everywhere. Whole scenario. We had to go and take it to one of the other kids' house. We were like trying to bend the bumper back, spray it down. We got in trouble, but no one admitted who was driving it, or they don't know that we jumped it either. They just think that we ran into something. That was pretty fucking funny.
You saying the jump in Dukes of Hazzard reminded me. We used to have an Astro
I
van.
was wearing the Daisy Duke shorts.
That's why.
Yeah.
We used to have an Astro van. Do you know what an Astro van looks like?
Yeah. I didn't have one, but everyone
Some
had
of
one
the
back
kids
then.
listening might not know what an Astro van looks like.
Google.
We used to jump the railroad tracks at Munger Road. My dad used to, not us. I remember being a kid and being like, floor it, and us jumping, and who knows whether
Doesn't
we got...
he know that's how those little kids died?
Is that the story of Munger Road?
The story, well, I mean,
I thought they got hit by a train.
no, it
not
was a bus
jumping
that
it.
got hit by a train track.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, there was a car accident right there.
Yes.
And this guy's jumping
My
the
dad's
tracks.
like, let's jump it.
Let's jump over these dead kids.
He did it. We probably might have gotten an inch and a half of air, but it felt like we were flying.
I would tell you a Munger Road story, but you're such a skeptical person.
Yeah, dude, there's
You're
no
gonna-
ghosts.
I'm not even getting into it. So
There
anyways.
is. They made a movie called Munger.
Yeah, I know. It sucked.
Probably
Anyways.
wasn't good.
No, I watched it. It sucked. Let's go into this next one. This one
right.
looks big, so I'm going to get my thinking cap on.
All right. What should I do?
Get your thinking cap on, because I just read the bottom half.
Okay.
And because a couple words stood out. And I think that we may have different views on this. So I'm going to let you go first. If you choose to do so, how old do you think you should be before using steroids? Or do you think when the time is right, then do them? Everyone my age, in parentheses 24, has been jumping on gear, and I feel like it's just rushed. What are your opinions?
What a mature
Talk
24-year-old,
to me.
whoever you are. That's a lot.
What are your thoughts, dude?
I think you should get on them when it's time for you to get on them. It depends. Like I know he said 24-year-olds. Everyone my age, 24-year-olds. Are you trying to be a competitive bodybuilder at 24 years old? Are you trying to be like, what are you trying to do? I don't think everyone needs to take them. I think those that want to be a competitive bodybuilder should understand that they most definitely will need to take them at some point. But I think the timing is when they're ready to take it. If you don't know how to diet or train, you shouldn't take anything. It's always going to be person dependent, because there are we've met 19-year-old kids that know how to train and eat. We've met 34-year-old people that don't know how to train and eat. And there will eventually be hormones that come into it. Like if in that exact example where I said a 34-year-old person who isn't going to have as much testosterone as a 24-year-old person, natural testosterone as a 24-year-old person. And that's a whole different game that's being played. But I think age shouldn't matter. Your goals and where you're at in the sport of bodybuilding should be the differentiating factor of when you start.
You actually answered that differently than I thought you were going to.
What do you think I was going to say?
You're a bunch of fucking idiots without the fucking,
Oh,
you know. I actually agree with you. You believe
What?
that? You believe that?
you and I?
Yeah. I don't think there's a right time for anybody. But basically to not repeat too much of what Patrick said, I think that a lot has to do with your experience, right? If you're 24 and you just started working out a year ago and you see these other kids growing and getting bigger and stronger than you, and all of a sudden you feel that you want to, no, it's the wrong time. Odds are you probably don't know how to properly train yet. And I'm not saying you don't know proper form or certain things like that, but how to actually get the most out of your lifts for your body, right? Nutrition probably isn't down packed yet. There's just a lot that comes into play on that end. But if someone is 21, 22, whatever, you know, and their goal is to be a pro bodybuilder and they've been training since they've been 15, 16, and they have all of that already down and they have a coach that they trust and that they know that knows what they're talking about, and they have either whether they're on their own insurance or parents' insurance or they're going to pay out of pocket and they're going to be able to go and get blood work when it's needed and called for, then I think that if being a pro is their goal and they actually have the potential to do so, I think then holding it off longer and longer and longer, you're just pushing away the potential to be a pro. You got to remember, and again, I'm just assuming someone who's wanting to take steroids wants to be a competitor and wants to do that with the intention to go pro, right? If you don't want to be a competitor, unless it's for hormone replacement therapy reasonings, I don't think that you should do steroids, right? But if it's for a competitive reason and you want to go pro, I think that if you have everything else down packed, pushing it off is only pushing off that future result. Bodybuilding, for the most part, unless you're fucking Dexter Jackson, right, and a freak, you have a very short window. You don't see many guys over 35 that are turning into top tier Olympians, right? So these guys that are in their mid to late 20s and early 30s pretty much are the prime top bodybuilders. Disagree? For the most part.
No. Right.
For the most part.
There's
you know?
outliers, but
most of these guys aren't starting gear at 34 years old.
Correct.
You know what I mean? They're
Except for
starting young.
Justin and
Again,
Samson.
Yes.
There's always
And
outliers, but yes.
But freaks, right? So as long as everything is being done for the right reason and you have all your bases covered, I don't think that 24 is too early. If you're very new to this and you have no intention of wanting to be a pro or a competitive bodybuilder, and it's just to look good on the beach this summer, then stay away, because it is a lifelong commitment. Even if you don't blast and cruise for the rest of your life or whatever, you can still potentially affect things that will be a lifelong made decision at that point.
I agree. You thought I was going to say no.
You're way too young.
Wait until you hit your genetic potential first.
Yes, and I thought you were going to say something about genetic potential, and I disagree, because I don't think steroids will stop people from reaching their genetic potential. They're just going to hit their genetic potential faster, right? But if they don't know how to train and they don't know how to eat, they're never going to hit their genetic potential, even with steroids. You could literally take as much shit as you want, half-ass your diet, half-ass your workouts, and you still won't hit your true potential.
See, dude, I surprised you. You didn't think I was going to answer that way.
No.
Years later, and I can still surprise you. That's what makes a relationship so good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like surprises, dude.
Next.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs, dude. There's so much I want to say, but I just don't want to hurt so many feelings.
Listen. I also feel like you knew the question. Sorry. You knew the answer to that question. If you follow either one of us, You knew the answer was dogs.
We only have dogs. We only post dogs. Now,
You don't really post your dogs too much, but your dogs are at the gym with you every day.
if you scroll down far enough, you'll see my dogs. But yes, you're right.
They're there every day. So if you know Greg, you've seen his dogs. If you follow me, I've posted my dogs at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. And we didn't post any cats. And here's my thing. Pat knows I am an animal lover. I don't really hate any animal. I don't hate cats. I just prefer not to have them. I don't like that they dig in their shit and then jump on your counters. But my sister has a cat and that's her house and it goes wherever it wants and wherever she allows it to. But guess what? Where she stays, she can't have a dog. And her cat is one of the coolest cats I've ever seen. Its name is Cannoli and it acts like a dog. You call its name and it comes to you. You know, like most dogs don't do that. Or most cats don't do that.
I thought you were going to say its name is cannoli and it acts like a cannoli.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, wow.
And it kind of does. It tastes great, you know?
What a great cat.
But yeah, but I still like, if I go there, I'm not going to be like, oh no, it's a cat. I don't want it. But I'll still pet it, play with it, whatever.
Yeah,
I think they're cool. I just don't prefer to have them in my home, you know? Unless it was like a badass Bengal cat. They're insane. They're like literally like mini cheetahs that live in your house. They eat like whole raw turkeys.
Yeah,
and
that
shit.
seems dangerous.
They're crazy.
Yeah, that seems like a lot.
Anyways,
Dogs.
Dogs. Dogs is the answer. Dogs is a man best friend.
Or cat dog.
Cat, dog. I was trying to think of all the words, but I couldn't get it. All right. What's your ideal client? What attributes do you look for? Do you ever say no?
I mean, I'm going to answer from the bottom first. Yes.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Sometimes we say no.
Yeah, I say no pretty often nowadays, actually.
There has to be, man, this is actually a pretty loaded question.
Yeah.
In order for us to help somebody optimally, we have to want to help that person optimally. And I'm not saying this as in we just turn certain people away for just to be discriminatory for any specific reason. But somebody could come to us with a specific goal that we don't find joy in. And that might sound like super, well, you guys just turned business away. But listen, you're going to get more out of us if we enjoy what we're doing, just like you're going, like the relationship has to work 2 ways. If somebody came to me with a goal that I didn't believe in, or I didn't think was healthy, or I didn't think they should be doing, why would I want to help them get there?
Yeah. Hey, I have a wedding in a month. Can you help me lose 40 pounds?
Right. Like, no, I can't.
Nope.
No. And I also I don't want
I'll
to be
explain to that person, hey, listen.
correct.
This is why I don't do that. And this is how I would make the approach. And we're going to get as much progress in the most healthy manner.
Right.
But you can't expect that much in 4 weeks. If you're looking for somebody to run you through a crash diet, look elsewhere.
Right.
Hope to hear from you in the future.
Nor do I want to put somebody through any type of a crash diet.
That's what I mean.
There are times where it's best for both of us,
The client
both of
and the
us
coach.
and the client and the coach, to say, no, I'm sorry, this won't work out
Correct.
between the two of us. What do I look for? Someone with a good goal in mind who wants to achieve, like the exact opposite of what I just said. The people we say no to are people who don't have a good or healthy or achievable goal in mind.
Correct.
Looking for someone is somebody who comes and says, yeah, I've got this goal and I want to accomplish it, and I think you can help me get there. And if, as far as the attribute standpoint, it's not like I need someone to be. There are things that make a good client, but I don't have a checklist of like, how responsive are you to email, and how, like, that's very person dependent. How do you communicate? That's very person dependent. We learn along the way how a lot of our clients communicate and what the best way for us to communicate with them. But that's part of our job.
Correct.
That's not part of
That's once you have that client, though.
right. That's not part of the vetting process of getting a client.
Correct.
I think the attributes that we look for are people that are willing and wanting to make changes that we believe in.
Yeah. So a perfect example is, as you know, number one, I don't really take any more in-person clients on. Just who I have is who I have, and that's it, right? But even with my online now, because it's getting busier, contest season's coming here. Right now, I'm not really taking on any lifestyle clients, right? I'm more so taking on competitive bodybuilders right now, you know? But I got an inquiry this weekend. Somebody saw something on Instagram. They shot me an email and they were like, hey, listen, like they gave me literally like essay, right? About this is what I've seen from you. This is how long I've been following. This is what I've been trying to do on my own. This is what I've accomplished. I followed this person's program. I followed this. I followed that. And they had so many notes before even asking me anything, right? Mm-hmm. This is what I accomplished. I've already lost 40 pounds on my own. I've hit this plateau, blah, 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 blah. Like I'm really, really looking to do this in a healthy manner. I'm in no rush. I'm just hit a spot where I've tried other people's stuff that I found online. And I've seen what you've done with people, and I'm ready to have a professional do it now that I've learned a little bit about myself. And I was like, bam, that is somebody I want to work with. That is somebody who's willing to take their time. That is someone who's willing to do their own research. That is someone who is willing to have an open line of communication. They're going to be a great client, right? So we got them going. We had a great conversation back and forth, and I'm actually very, very, very excited to help this person, right? But there's no right client, right? There's nothing specific that I look for other than, is this person serious, right? What kind of questions are they asking me?
Right.
If they start with, hey, I've been looking around for a coach and just kind of want to see what you charge, you're gone. Those people, I don't even reply to
when
anymore.
When the first question is charge, you know they're probably
I
not
do
in
not
it for the right
even
reason.
reply to them anymore.
Yeah.
Done. Right there. If you're shopping around for price, you don't actually care enough about the value that you're getting or about yourself. This is someone that's telling you what you're going to be doing with your body and your health.
You shouldn't be picking the cheapest option.
You're price shopping looking for the cheapest option.
This isn't a pair of jeans at Kohl's.
Not going to happen. So that's a red flag. That's something that I'm sure Pat and I both are going to just dismiss you on, right? But my ideal client is anybody who's just willing to work, someone who's made attempts on their own. They've learned through trial and error. They've learned their body a little bit. You've seen that they've put effort in on their own. Mm-hmm. Granted, I mean, I've had a friend recently reach out and say, hey, listen, my mom, she hasn't worked out in 60 years, and she's trying to be healthier, trying to make choices. She's never been in a gym, blah, 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 blah. Like, will you help her? Yada, yada, yada. Because I have trust with this person and I know that they would give me somebody that they know that I would work well with. I took that person on as well, right. But typically speaking, I like to see that it's somebody who has made the effort to go out and try on their own, right. Because one, they're not afraid to fail.
Right.
They're ready to learn, and they've taken the time to put effort in themselves already. If it's someone who's just looking for Hail Marys, it's someone who in 2 weeks, if they don't see a 10-pound drop, they're like, oh, this isn't working. Right. Why did you tell me to do this?
I'll build on that with people that are just willing to learn.
Yeah.
Because there could be somebody who didn't do anything on their own first, but because they don't know anything. I've had people that have come to me like, listen, I've never worked out before. I have never dieted before. I don't know a thing about either one, and I need guidance. Yes, there's something admirable about trying on your own, but there's also something admirable about saying, I don't know a thing.
No, I like when they admit that they don't know. I don't want someone who pretends to be a know-it-all because none of us know it all, right? But at the end of the day, I'm talking like these are people who are 40, 50, 60 years old, and they've never made effort in their health, right? If someone at 22 says, hey, listen, I did a little bit in school, whatever they made me do or whatever, but I've never been comfortable in a gym on my own. I don't know proper form and technique. I'm afraid to do it on my own and risk injury or whatever. I have no idea about diet, blah, blah, blah. And I know they're serious about their goals. Yeah, I'm going to help that person out.
Yeah.
That's our job, right? But they need to be willing to learn. And I don't take anyone on now where I can just tell via email or DM or whatever it is that they're just looking for a fast route, They think that, hey, I hire a trainer, I hire a coach, it's a miracle drug, Right. That's not how it works. You have to be ready to have patience. And like you said, you have to be willing to learn.
I was about to say, I know I just said it and you just reiterated it again. But now that we're talking about this, that's probably one of the most underrated attributes or qualities in a client is somebody who wants, like, we've talked about this before. I don't know if our listeners or our clients themselves fully know this. I don't want to have somebody as a client for an extended period of time. I want to help my clients get to their goals and then teach them how to do it on their own.
Yes.
There are some clients that like still just want to, we have our lifers that just want to be with us for like.
There's different categories, right? If you're coming to if someone's coming to you solely for the purpose of learning, we want to be able to teach that person, whether it's 6 months, a year, 18 months, whatever it is.
But where you
and have them, if they decide that they want to stay with you because they like the challenge, they like the comfort, they like the talk, they vent, the whatever.
Yeah.
That's up to them, right? But I would like for at the end of that 12 or 18 months or whatever it is, that they are in a position where they've learned enough from us, where they can go out there and they can at least maintain the results they've gained on their own.
And I had a discussion about this with a client today, actually. And I said, that's the willingness to learn and the willingness to ask those questions are what make or break for lack of better words, a good client.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't just send their check-in every week, get a response back, and then ghost the answer.
Correct.
Especially when we're asking questions back about how the week went and you don't get a response until the following week. Those are the clients that absorb the information.
For sure.
And then one day they're going to live this happy, healthy life. And guess who they're going to attribute to how they created that happy, healthy life too?
These guys.
Yep.
And obviously, we kind of categorize this more so into, for what we've explained, more so lifestyle clients. Obviously, competitive clients that we're prepping.
But even as a competitive bodybuilder,
I want them to be willing to learn. I want them to be able to listen. I want them to be able to communicate. But that is going to be more of a long-term thing because, again, as you know,
it took us a long time to learn those things.
Well, it takes a long time to learn those things. But I mean, you could have someone who's competing for 10 years, you know. But what I'm saying is, even you, somebody who knows how to prep people, right? You're still going to have a second eye during your prep, right? If I were to jump into a show, I'm going to have a second eye in my prep because that's a kind of, it's a different process, right? And you're going to get to the point of questioning yourself. And there's points where there needs to be potentially day-to-day changes. That's a little bit different of a scenario. But overall, to generalize this, you know, majority of these clients, we would like to be able to learn and go off on their own.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we answered
it. All right. Moving on.
Whoever you are, I hope we answered it.
I hate how this thing is like.
I don't know. I don't have that thing.
Yeah. All right. This question is for Patty. Ooh. All right. Do you feel that you have reached your natural potential as a competitor, or do you feel you still have room to grow?
Tough question.
I'm all ears. Talk to me, Daddy.
What's the word I'm looking for? I'm an idealist, and there's always room to grow. So, no. Will I make...
Can I put a spin on this?
On their question?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ask this question?
No. Oh. You could finish answering it the way you were, but I'm I'm going to try and... Not try, but I'm interpreting it a little bit different. So answer it the way you want to answer, and then I'm going to ask you it the way that I think they're asking it.
I think I was going to go into the way they were asking it anyways, too.
Go for it.
Excuse me.
Do you want me to reread it?
Oh, big yawn. Big tired guy.
That double shot did nothing for you.
No, it didn't. So what I meant by that was I'm an idealist, and I think that there's always room for improvement and growth. However, I do understand that I've been doing this for 10 years, and although I've learned more and more each and every year, each and every day, or each every month, each every week, each every day, I think that eventually I will hit a cap, and I may be there right now. There are a lot of times where I do question, how much more I could do. And I know that I go out and I have my pizza on Fridays and I could take that thing away. And I know that I play during the summers, I play a full 90-minute soccer game that doesn't go into my calculated expenditure, that like that could be hindering me from reaching my full potential. But there's also a balance to life with bodybuilding, which is a whole different argument. That I think I've done 90 to 95% of the work that I could do. And there's like that 5 to 10% more that I could do to reach an even greater potential. But I don't know if it's worth it. Because again, I am not a professional. I am just an amateur.
But
Do
you think that if you did make those changes, you could be a professional?
It's very hard to say.
I mean, I know that as well as a loaded question.
It's very hard.
But I'm just saying, for you saying, is it worth it? You don't know. I didn't know if you were saying, like, is it worth it if I stop those things? I could be a professional, but what if I don't end up being? Am I going to regret giving up soccer?
Again, and that's the untangible things that go along with bodybuilding. I could look at pictures from previous national shows and say, well, I could beat that guy. And I could be a pro if I could beat that guy. But that's not how bodybuilding works.
Correct.
It's not just if you look better than the guy who won last year, you get a pro card too. It's whoever shows up at your show. I could have gone pro 5 years ago if I went to the right show. That's just the world of bodybuilding. I think I've done, especially over the past like 3 years, I've done a lot to get the most out of my physique.
I agree.
I've changed within the last 3 years and I've seen a lot of progress. I don't know if I don't think I'm at that full max capacity yet, but I also don't know how much more I'd be willing to sacrifice to be at that full potential.
So with that being said,
no.
What's next?
Who knows, dude?
This question is for Patty.
Does it say what's next?
Do you feel that you have reached your natural potential as a competitor, or do you feel you still have room to grow? I want to see where I was going to try and interpret this differently. What I was getting it out of it is the reason why you are still a natural competitor, says natural potential, because you feel, this is how I took that they were reading it, or they were asking it. Are you still a natural because you see that there's that much more growth for you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is. I know that there is. But it's how much am I willing to give up type of a thing. And I know that that's a very open-ended question, but I'm not doing this just to be all talk. You know, majority of the time I'm on.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't mean on gear, ladies and gentlemen, because I know some of you meatheads are like, oh, Patty P's on.
No, I'm on my game.
Yeah.
And I give myself very little slack.
Yeah. Sometimes you give yourself way too little slack.
Correct.
Where I'm going to play devil's advocate.
It might be to a hindrance.
And as someone who's helped you throughout the years, and I've seen the way you are with how diligent you are and your food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that if you did give yourself a little bit more slack and you did allow a little bit more for pushing of food and free meals and got out of the comfort zone a little bit more, I think that you could hit that cap a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that, like you said, in the last 3 years, I mean, shit, overall, okay, year after year, you've gotten better and better and better. But I would like to say that the last 3 years are where I have seen the most significant changes. I was actually looking at pictures of you yesterday from 4 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. I was just scrolling through. I was looking for old pictures of the gym. Mm. And I was scrolling through all this old stuff. And I was like, wow, dude, like...
And that's partially a testament to me saying, no, I haven't reached my full potential. Because each year I still get a little better.
Yeah. So, I don't think you've reached your full potential.
No. And I
think that you being so on,
right.
I think if you had a little bit more lax and were okay with getting a little bit more uncomfortable, I think that there can be even more.
Potentially.
I'm not saying get fat.
No, I'm
I
not.
wouldn't allow that to happen. But I know that you are one who likes to be very conservative with how slowly you're pushing things up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, it's the question was almost asked as if there's like a tangible like meter.
Yeah.
Like, oh, nope.
There isn't, though.
Oh, nope. He reached it. He's right there. He's at the
There
top.
isn't. And what's to say what someone's genetic potential is? You know what I mean? Like, you don't know until you literally just stall out. You know, like.
I think I have built a pretty solid
foundation.
Yeah. I don't think, if you're asking my genetic potential or my genetic peaks, like, do I think I'm going to have 20-inch arms one day as a natural? Probably not. Do I think my back is going to get, or my legs are going to grow a couple inches on them as a natural? Probably not. I mean, there's certain things that I've built up probably as close as good as they're going to get with a small margin for change.
Correct.
But for the most part, my base is like built as a natural. I can still, and that's a big variance. 5 to 10% is a big variance that I think people might be like, oh, that's not very much.
No, it's a lot.
That's a lot in bodybuilding.
In bodybuilding, that's a fuck ton.
That's huge. I think I built the 90%. I can still get, or 95 maybe, I can still get 5 to 10% better. But it's at what cost, I guess.
So I don't mean to put you on the spot here.
Sure.
But I'm sure it's something that the people are wondering. So I'm going to ask it.
Still so tired.
And based on the earlier question and then this question, if you feel that
The 24-year-old
question, is there a reason why someone like you who has nailed your food, nailed your training, you know your body in and out, you have someone in your corner who, if you want to use as a second eye and help, hey, that's me, it's theirs. Like, you have all the tools needed, right? Yep. You've learned it all on your own. You have help. You have support groups, right? You have a girlfriend who has bodybuilded and believes in it and supports you doing it as well. Like, your career is bodybuilding. If you feel that you've kind of teeter-tottered that borderline of your potential, but just not quite there yet, but you have everything else down-packed and your goal is to be a pro, like the 24-year-old advice that we said is, hey, if you want to be a pro and you got all those other things down,
right,
that probably is a good time to start pushing, right? So I know these answers because we've talked about it, right? But for the people asking these questions, I have a feeling that they want to know from you. So if you got all those other things down and you do love bodybuilding, your career is revolved around bodybuilding and fitness, and you want to be a pro one day, what has been the biggest reasonings of not making that crossover to the quote unquote dark side yet?
I'm a stubborn Italian.
Okay, well, moving on.
And the short answer, I'm very, very stubborn. If you guys haven't heard from the list of things Pat's not done before, I kind of get set in my ways and I don't change those ways.
Okay.
I'm a very old school person.
Yeah, no, and again, I know the answer.
The other people
for
don't
the people
know this.
who are saying these things, I have a feeling that that's kind of what they're trying to get out of you.
That's a very generic way for me to answer that, is that I'm just very stubborn. But the longer-winded answer would be, one, like I already said, I'm still making progress every year. And it is very hard for me to accept needing to add something else when I know there's still a little bit left in the tank, because I do keep getting better. And how rewarding would it be to be a professional or to be at such an elite level as a natural, because I put that work in like that. Not that it's cheating, not that it's anything, but just I kind of forget it sometimes because everyone else takes them, and I forget sometimes that that's the playing field I'm on. But when I do sometimes take a step back, it's like, man, it is a little bit rewarding that I put in a lot of hard work to look the way that I do, or to perform the way that I do every day.
So are you saying that those who are using gear are not working hard?
No, I just said that it means more to me.
I'm just clarifying for the people. We've had these conversations.
Yeah, no, it just means more to me. And then obviously there is the negative side effects. Not that I don't think I could do, if I went to the dark side, I am fully I have full belief that I could do it in the healthiest way possible and see the most results with the least amount of side effects. I'm just not ready. Or maybe will I ever be stubborn.
Good enough answer for me.
Yeah.
I'm just, again, these are for the
No, I
people.
know you are.
All right. Moving on. Enough about Patty P, guys. Jeez, dude.
Is it dumb?
Yeah, we'll
Don't-
skip this one, dude.
Okay.
I say enough about Patty P. Here we go. Fuck me today, huh? All right. Does Pat's girlfriend follow his diet?
Hey, first of all, we know that every other question here is geared towards you.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'm famous.
Just because I have 2 questions doesn't mean 2 out of the 1,000 we've been asked.
No, maybe the dog and cat thing was for you too.
Yeah, maybe. But again, if they knew anything about us,
I'm joking, dude. I'm joking.
what is it?
Does Pat's girlfriend follow his diet?
Pat's girlfriend does not follow my diet. Rosie has her own diet that she follows, believe it or not. If you're asking if Rosie follows a stricter, more bodybuilder style diet, she does. Rosie has competed 3 times before in the bikini category. She is very disciplined and very good at following a diet. But no, she does not follow. Even though we both eat well and to a meal plan, our meal plans are very different.
Yeah, I think that people or whoever asked this, maybe just because they don't see a lot of you and her on there, right? They see like you eating pizza and then you eating your meals, right? So like they're probably, okay, well, here's Pat, or they listen to the podcast. Like, here's Pat, who is super diligent, right? He mentions his girlfriend, but we don't know anything about what this girl eats, right? Here's Pat, who's eating chicken and rice at 7 a.m. year round. Like, how does his girlfriend deal with that? Is there flexibility? Does she eat that clean? I think that's what they're saying. Like, not does she follow your exact plan,
Right.
but I think they were more so asking, does she stick to a bodybuilder type diet, or is she sitting over there eating boxes of Cheez-Its, which are great, by the way, while you're eating chicken and rice at 7 a.m.?
Well, she definitely doesn't eat chicken and rice at 7 a.m.
No, she doesn't.
But no, she follows a pretty strict meal plan.
Yeah.
She does her, if I remember correctly, a couple meals, or at least one meal with egg whites, a shake meal, a chicken meal, a shrimp meal.
You want me to tell you?
I know you know it. But hers is a very regimented meal plan as well.
Yeah.
Hers is just not the same as mine.
Yes.
Hers is specifically catered to hers, just like mine.
Yeah.
I don't ever write chicken and rice into any of my clients' meal plans. That's just
At 7 a.m.
At 7
He puts
a.m.
chicken and rice in their diet, just not at 7 a.m.
Sorry, that's what I meant to
Yeah.
say.
My clients don't eat chicken and rice. That's horrible for you.
None of my clients eat chicken and rice ever. No, that's what works for me. So Rosie does follow a bodybuilding meal plan.
Correct.
She just does not follow my bodybuilding meal plan. And when I post my pictures of pizza, Rosie is also sitting right next to me with her own pizza. So she also has her own balance and her own.
It's funny because I do Rosie's diet, and it's funny dealing with both of them because they're always trying to communicate what they're going to do for their cheat meal, and they're trying to coordinate. Like, one will be prepping at one time, one won't be prepping, and it's always like, oh, like, I really want to have this cheat, but Pat's going to be home and I don't want him to see me have it, and vice versa, right? And it's just funny because they both live the life. They both follow their diets to the T. They only have their cheats when their cheats are scheduled. But yet they both understand why they're doing what they're doing and why they're being told to have a cheat or whatever it is, right? Or when they choose to have their cheat. And it's funny to me that they still try and justify making it feel right for the other person, even if that person can't have it. Like, Pat's been like, oh man, like, I can't have that cheat because Rose is in prep and she's going to be home from work early and she's going to see me eat that. And I'm like, dude, but she does this too. She understands that if it's time for you to have your cheat, it's time for you to have your cheat.
We're both good closet cheaters if we need to be. Eat a cheat meal real quick before the other one gets home so they don't see us eating it. Febreze the house so it doesn't smell like French fries or whatever.
It smells like French fries and flowers.
And yeah. And sea breeze in this house. Yeah, we're way too nice to each other when it comes to that regard. Because at the end of the day,
funny.
at the end of the day, both of us wouldn't care if the other person did it.
Yeah.
We think more of the other person.
For sure. But
yes,
she, someone outsider looking in, not in their household, she is pretty much on not the same exact diet as him, right? She's still eating, like he said, bodybuilder foods. Okay. She's eating a very clean diet. Everything is portioned out for her. And she has her flexibility when needed or when told to, right? But for the most part, I mean, they're pretty much on the same page. Both of them go to work with their meals prepped. Both of them go home and eat a prepped meal. It's not like they go home and they cook chicken parmesan together and, like, no.
Nope.
They're eating out of a Tupperware unless it's their Friday night pizza or whatever,
We argue about all the time. But
Yeah, they have different ideas of what they want to eat for pizza, which I also think is funny.
I don't have different ideas.
You
I
have one
idea. It's the one pizza place that I want because it doesn't let me down.
Oh, man.
All right.
I'm going on to the next one, dude.
All right.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Probably social studies.
What do you think mine were?
Math or science.
Science and history. Weird, huh?
Yeah. You know what was a dope class? Was high school chemistry. Super fun. You know it wasn't a
I was
fun
going to
class?
say weight training, but I don't think that counts like an actual class,
Asking, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? I think that's why I liked the history part. We talked about this a little bit, actually. The memorization part of it. Like if you remembered the periodic table and their atomic
got it.
and their atomic masses and certain things like that, you could do some of the equations within chemistry class
For sure.
pretty easily. Similarly, I didn't enjoy math class as much, but I was always in an elevated math class because I was able to memorize those things and execute
Dude,
it.
that's what people don't get, that all of this is memorization.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated math class. I don't know when it happened. At some point in my education, they bumped me up a year and I was always with older kids and I didn't like it at all because I always felt like I was too good at my own ages. I'd be getting 100% on everything and they're like, well, you're too advanced for this. But then I'd go to the other one, I'd be like a BC student and I didn't enjoy being the BC guy in math either.
It wasn't
But they were trying
grades.
to challenge me.
It wasn't grades that would discourage me like that. It was more so the fact that I started hating math. Like when we were doing more so like, I guess more business related stuff, right? I was like, awesome. Like for instance, econ, loved it, right? But when you're doing algebra and geometry, and I'm like, when the fuck am I going to use this? Granted, I did it, right? I know how to do it. But I was like, when am I going to apply this in real life? And then you ask the teacher and they really have no answer. I was like, what the fuck am I doing this for? That's when I was like, I don't really like math anymore. I'll do it because I have to do it.
Right.
So when I showed up to school, I did it, but that was rare. But you know what I mean?
No,
Anyways.
I do. I would kind of agree with you. Social studies was, I don't know why. I love learning about all those wars, man.
So social studies is history, right?
Yeah. I love learning about the wars.
I loved learning about the wars, but also just like how, dude, even now, dude, I like Discovery Channel, like all that shit. Like I like learning about how people lived in certain eras and how things were different and how things have evolved, I always found that shit interesting.
Dude, I remember learning about the Vietnam War in high school and I was like mind blown. Yeah. Mind blown. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That stuff interests me. Just does.
Yeah, never mind.
Doesn't interest you?
No, it does, but I was going to get into war movies. And
you were going to make a joke about Tropic Thunder?
No.
Oh.
No. Who's your worst enemy? If you say me, I'm going to punch you right in the forehead.
You can't reach that far.
Is that a short arm joke?
Kinda. We're way too far away for you to be able to reach me.
You want to punch me, don't you?
You want to punch me, don't you? Go ahead. I rub keels on these bad boys every night.
I haven't had a carb since 2008.
Worst enemy.
Yeah, man.
Probably myself.
I was just going to say, do not start singing I Am My Own Worst Enemy. Do you know the song?
No, I don't.
By Lit?
By who?
Lit.
Couldn't. Nope.
I would play it right now, but we'll probably get demonetized.
Yeah. SSS, help us out with that one.
Yeah, I'll tell
You'll
you.
show me later. I don't know.
I think you were right though. I think you are your own worst enemy.
There are people that are probably enemies to me out there, but they can't do me as much harm as I can do myself.
There you go.
Who's yours?
My enemy doesn't matter because he died. So
Oh, yeah.
he gone. Moving on.
You're lucky. My worst enemy's not dead yet.
Why do you take so long to respond to messages? This must be to you.
Yeah.
No, I think it's to me.
It's probably to you, but I also, if you see me at the gym, you're probably like, Pat's on his phone at the gym. When I go home, I don't want to use my phone. I really don't. Rosie, my girlfriend's going to be like, yes, you do. But Greg will send me a Snapchat and I won't open it for hours.
Yeah, I always
and
wondered
it's
that.
super disappointing because they're normally really cute pictures of his kids doing something.
Or my penis.
Cute pictures of your penis. Yeah. And normally I would want to respond and be like, oh, cute kids. Or what are they doing? Or something along the lines of that. But by the time I actually do open it, the moment in memory is long gone. I wouldn't be able to see a second photo anyway. You know what I mean? So I really try not to when I'm not at home. So I might be part of that. Why do you take so long? Because I really try not to respond unless I see that it's an urgent message at home.
Yeah.
I don't put on Do Not Disturb as much as you do, though.
I put on Do Not Disturb more so when it's time to put my kids to bed and get me ready for bed.
No,
and then usually I'll turn it off for about an hour when I'm in bed, watch TV, and I'll reply to some shit, and then I'll go to sleep. But I would like to say that I am actually what I would like to think faster than a lot of people at replying to messages, right? But there are certain situations where I can't reply with the way that I should reply, right? So if I'm with clients, right, 8-9 hours a day, all right, and you shoot me messages, whether it's via email, via WhatsApp, or whatever our form of communication is, I can't answer. If I have people paying me for those personal training sessions, I cannot just be like, oh, hold on, Karen, let me stop and fix Bruce's meal plan, blah, 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 blah. I can't do that, right? Which is why, again, we've gone into this the last episode. I've kind of backtracked on my evening clients so I could cater to the online a little bit more.
Right.
But in between clients, I'll try and get back to people as quickly as possible, but I'm running to the bathroom, I'm warming up my food, I'm cleaning up the gym, I am working in those hours, which is why when you enroll in a program with me, it says that I will reply to everybody within a 24-hour period. If you do not hear from me within a 24-hour period, guess what? It was probably overlooked. I probably read it while I was with somebody else and I meant to go back, but because it was already open and then I had 60 something other messages come in after, I forgot to get to it, right? So I always say in their enrollment thing, I say, if you do not hear within 24 hours, reach out via text. None of my clients text me. My clients email me. Other ones have apps that they communicate with me through, right? Depending on what they're doing and how much communication we need, right? So I will say, if I do not get back to you within 24 hours, you have my direct line. Reach out to me. We will communicate that way because I will see that immediately, right? But other than that, I try and get back to everyone as soon as I see it. But if you send me something and it's not a yes or no answer and it's I need to reformulate something for you or change a lot of things or you hurt something, so I have to rearrange your entire split or whatever it is. I can't do that in 5 minutes. You need to wait till I'm home 10, 12 hours later, sitting down at a computer after I walked in my door, took a shower because I've been with sweaty people all day, said hi to my kids, ate dinner with them, and then get them into a different area and I'm sitting down at a computer again in silence where I could actually think. So there might be a time where if I'm giving you the information that you are requesting from me, it's going to take me a long time to get to you, right?
Sure.
And it's not by choice. It's not that I'm ignoring these clients, right? I just want to be able to reply to you with what is needed to be replied. And sometimes I don't have the adequate time for that throughout the day. And then it's also this, we are human. We are both in-person personal trainers who are at the gym all day. On top of that, we have our online clients, okay? Which is probably somebody who's answering this question, right? But we also have families. We also have other things, and there has to be a balance. So there are certain hours of the day that I put my phone on do not disturb, and I try and be a husband. I try to be a dad. I try and respond to my regular text messages from my mom, my dad, my siblings, whatever. I try and have a balance, right? But then there's also this, right? There may be somebody asking this who may somebody who may not be a client.
Yeah, this could be.
So
one of
if
our
you
friends.
are someone who is an inquiry, or it could be a friend, we'll get into that one.
Yeah.
But if you are someone who may be an inquiry, you may be somebody. Not that me and Pat are huge celebrities, right? But I get new followers every day. Pat gets new followers every day. I get a lot of messages that go into my message request, which I don't check every single day. Maybe I should, but because I have a business profile, a lot of the times it ends up being spam. But when I go through there and there's 12, 15 messages, usually 2 or 3 end up being inquiries. And I'll reach out to them. Hey, so sorry. This is usually full of spam.
Right.
It's always like, oh, let us SEO code you, or let you wear this stupid ugly shirt.
We saw your page, and you'd be a perfect fit for our influencer
for our
program.
ugly, cheap plastic watch. Yeah, shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So it may take me a few days to look into my requests every week, right? I'll look at it every 2-3 days, whatever. And then I will reply back. But then there's also email inquiries. Well, guess what? Before I respond to somebody requesting my service,
I'm going
to respond to those who are paying for my service first. So if you're an inquiry and I didn't get back to you for 2-3 days, I apologize, but I'm
helping my paying
handling.
customers.
Yep, I am handling 8 hours of clients in a day, plus being in the gym for probably about 12 hours. On top of that, handling online clients, competitive clients, a meal prep company, a family, and then I'm going to get to the new inquiries. And guess what? A lot of the time, because my time is limited, I'm pushing them off elsewhere anyways.
Right.
So that is why. It's not personal. It's not a fuck you, I don't care about you guys.
Right.
It's I have to prioritize, and you have to prioritize handling certain tasks at certain times of the day to make everything run smoothly. It can't be, oh my God, we got a new email. We have to stop everything we're doing and answer this email.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. That's why it's an email. So we can get to it when we are available.
Right.
Otherwise we say, hey, just walk in our door and have a conversation every day.
Even though we don't work in the business world, we have our own SOPs. We have our own standard operating procedures as to how we do things. And this is how we do things.
I agree.
How many more do you think we got on here? Because we're already at time.
Let's see if any of these are good.
See if any of those are good real quick. It's not looking good, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. I can't read upside down. I can read right side up. But it's not looking good right now.
All right, dude. I wanted to do one more, but most of these we've already answered in different episodes, and they just asked them in different ways. Or they're just stupid.
Are these newer or older?
These are older.
Oh.
I'm going to do one random shot for you guys, all right? No, one random shot. We've done these. All right, anyways.
No good? No good.
No, it's not that they're not good. It's just majority of those. I think there was 2 that I opened that were just stupid. And the rest were just things that we've already answered. Not that we answered that specific person's question,
Right.
but it's been answered in different topics already. So I don't want to be too repetitive. But listen, just because I said some of your guys' stuffs were stupid, it's more so just like you're asking things that are either sexual or political and things I don't really want to get into on here. So
we'll have specific days for politics and sexual talk. Not
but,
today.
Don't be afraid to ask us stuff. I know he says every episode, but we are here to help you guys. We're here to educate. We're here to help you understand anything that you may be confused about. potentially from other people's information they put out or the information that we put out. But keep the questions coming. And again, if it's not through the anonymous app that we post once a week, send it to us directly. Send it to us, Bodybuilding a Business. We want to answer questions, keep them interesting. We want to help educating as much as possible. But
believe it or not, we could ask hundreds of questions a week in person.
Yep.
You could ask some of these on our podcast.
Yeah.
Not you, Greg. You, the listener.
Oh, I could ask you questions. Want me to ask you questions?
No. The ones that the people are asking us in person.
Okay.
The people.
All right.
The members of the warehouse gym. All right, dude. I think that's it for now.
You don't want to ask me anything?
No.
Oh.
I ask you what I want to ask you.
Okay. I thought maybe you wanted to ask me in front of the people.
I don't ever let them build up.
Okay.
I just ask away.
We just got another one.
What is it?
Let's open it up.
Are they watching us live right now? It's Michelle. She says, "Are you guys done yet?" Jeez. Get off the microphone.
It didn't load.
What if it legitimately said, "I hope this isn't too late"? It's not good based on your face.
No.
That bad?
Now I feel like we have to answer another one, though.
It's that bad of a question? Let me see it.
It was horrible.
I won't
now
read
I
it.
gotta
Let me
scroll all the
see
way
it.
up. I gotta scroll all the way back up then. All right.
Let me give her a read.
We'll just do this then. We'll do this quick one.
You're not
There was one stored in the notes. Then I gotta scroll all the way back up. Hold on.
Dude, there's too much dead air time.
I know. That's why you gotta entertain these people. Keep talking.
What do you want me to do? Do a little song and dance?
Yeah.
I do my little dancey dance, as some would say.
Okay.
This is the worst part.
All right. Good.
We've got some fun and exciting things coming up for you guys soon, so that's cool. Can't wait for what the future has to hold for us.
Got one for you.
Okay.
Do you prefer prepping women or men? Doom.
I don't really care.
So you have no preference?
No.
Okay.
I like challenge. They're both challenging in completely different ways.
I agree.
But I don't have a preference per se.
Okay.
You? I know your answer.
Men.
Yep.
I prefer men. It does not mean that I will dismiss a woman.
Rosie's a woman.
Rosie's a woman. But just through my experience, it's not sexist in any way, shape, or form. There are women who work very hard. There are women who are really focused. There are women who really are great bodybuilders and competitors. Me personally, though, when it comes to the bodybuilding world, I feel that the majority are just, they're doing it for the wrong reasons, like males. And essentially this, I will take on a female competitor as a natural, pretty much probably at any point, as long as I can tell that her intentions are right and she's doing it for the right reasons. Mm-hmm. If I have a girl coming to me and they just started working out a year ago and they're trying to push drugs and they're trying to be like, you know, this person they see on Instagram or whatever, the female body is not as resilient as a male. I see a very, 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 very small place for drugs in the female competitive world. Mm-hmm. I don't think that they take on the full acknowledgement of risk versus reward for their future, right? When it comes to reproduction, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So I just don't like dabbling in it. It doesn't interest me as much. Women that I see have a lot of heart and they're looking to do it to push themselves to their max, not the drug aspect, competitive aspect. I'm all for it. I will help you. Majority of my female clients who've been competitors, though, has always started as an in-person client first or an online client where as a lifestyle, like where we've learned their body together, we've accomplished certain milestones together. And then it's more like a bucket list thing. Like, hey, we've accomplished A, B, C, D, E. We've worked together for 2 years. You know my body. It'd be great. Like I would love to challenge myself and get on stage and see the best shape I could possibly get in. If I feel that that person is mentally ready for it, I will do it, right? But hormonally, girls are just way more sensitive. And I've seen way too much negative things come out of females competing long term that, to me, I just prefer to work with males. I mean, it just interests me the most.
I would say there's also there's a joy aspect to it too.
Yeah.
You're a male bodybuilder and you love men's bodybuilding.
I love men's bodybuilding.
And this is not even a Greg or I answer to this. You'll see this throughout the industry. There are many female coaches who coach females.
Yeah.
And many male coaches who coach males exclusively.
Yeah.
Because
there's
that's
a
what
smaller amount of males who train females.
It's also, there's an enjoyment factor to it. There's I've competed in men's physique, so like I do enjoy training guys that compete in men's physique. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy training guys that would do classic or bodybuilding, or girls that do different girls categories. There's just a likeness to it that comes into play.
Yeah. And again, it's nothing against the women themselves or the categories themselves. I just feel that there's a lot more pressure for females to try and be what these other influencers are being, and they're willing to just push things way before they should. And again, it's not like a male whose body's a little bit more resilient and we can make things bounce back a little bit more easily. I've seen some really bad things happen. And again, I love the science behind it. I love learning it. Right. I've worked with a lot of girls in the past and I've learned a ton and I love it. Mm-hmm. But I still I don't see, and again, if you get mad at me for saying this, that it's just my opinion.
Right.
I don't see much space for girls in the enhanced competitive world. And unfortunately, when it comes to wanting to be a pro, even if you're in bikini this day and age, drugs are a large part of it.
Yep.
You know, I think that girls can go pro without it, but unfortunately, when all the other girls are doing it, if you're the most gifted genetically and you're going against another person with just as good genetics and they're on drugs and you're not, guess what?
Fighting an uphill battle.
Yep. So I don't love the idea of it. If someone came to me and they've had a bad experience and they really are just lost and they need help getting hormones back into check or things like that, I would love to help them. And then if I felt that they had a good mindset and head on their shoulders and we worked well together, getting them into a healthy state, and it was still their dream to be a pro and they knew the risks at hand and stuff like that, maybe a different story, right? But I think just the amount of people rushing to compete, guy or girl at this point, majority are doing it for the wrong reasons. They don't really understand the long-term risks that they're taking in hand. And I just don't feel comfortable putting a lot of women into that position, you know?
I get it. It's fair. That circles back into our question about attributes we look for in a client. Anyone who's doing it for the wrong reason is obviously someone we don't want to work with in the first place. And the point that Greg is making is just that he sees a larger number of females potentially doing it for the wrong reason than males, or the same amount, but it is much more dangerous for a female. So that'll skew.
I'm not even getting into it, but yeah.
Yeah. It'll skew the data, which has made him come to his decision. And if you want to hear more about that, we can talk about that in an episode.
And a lot of it comes into this point where, like, I do have some female clients still, mm-hmm. right? But they're people who I've worked with a long time. Like I said, we understand each other. I know their head's in a good place, etc. Right? But other than them, it also comes to a point where time, right? Like, my time is more limited at this point in my life, mm-hmm. and I want to more so focus on the things that I really truly have a passion on. So if I'm going to take on 10 more female competitors or 10 more male competitors, I'm going to take on the ones that
you enjoy more. That's
I enjoy the most.
The point I made a little bit earlier. There's just an enjoyment factor to it. There's a relationship to it.
Yeah.
I played soccer my entire life. It's nothing against girls soccer, but I enjoyed coaching boys soccer more.
Yeah.
There's a relationship to it. I was a part of it. I did it.
You understand. There's a different level of understanding as well.
There's nothing against it.
The communication's different. I mean, it's just, there's just a lot of Yeah.
There's a
It
difference
takes
to
a lot. It takes me a lot longer for a female to get fully comfortable with me and to know that we are 100% on the same page
Right.
versus a male. We have a lot more common interests. They open up a little bit easier. And we just have a tighter bond more quickly. Not saying I'm not close to some of my female clients because I've built a great relationship with a lot of them.
Right.
But it's just, like he said, it's just something where it's something that interests us more naturally, which I think it just allows you to build a stronger relationship more sooner. And stronger relationship means better trust. Better trust means more success. End of story. On that note, dude.
That's
go
all
munch, dude.
she wrote.
It's munch. I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah. Time to eat.
All right, man. Let's get thick, dude.
No.
All right. Yeah, I'm not getting thick anytime soon.
Yeah, you can't.
No, I'm shredded.
Until next time.
All right, man. That's all, folks.
Yeah. Adios.